Hello everyone and welcome to the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast, the wrestling podcast to review every segment of Raw and give you guys the wrestling news of the week, because that's how we do, Mark Henry style. 50 years from now, there will be a plaque in a museum somewhere and it will say, the greatest wrestling podcast of all time. And who hosted that podcast? My name is Turbo Tony. I hosted that podcast. And we're here with the greatest stud double on planet Earth, Damien Matdow.
I accept that one.
You like that one, yeah?
That's a pass.
That's good. I hope you guys are having a great week. How are you doing this week, Matt?
Yeah, pretty good, actually.
Pretty good. We hope that you get to hear this week's episode.
It's not going to be a wasted endeavour.
Yeah, so, that's the issues that we've been having in terms of the podcast. As you said, last week we didn't get an episode out, and we do apologise, but we did our fan feedback for you there this week. I have big news, guys! Big news! This week we have beaten the landmark of 200 subscribers.
That's it.
Thank you all. I give you all a round of applause. That's really cool. We got there a little bit sooner than I expected, so that's really cool. I didn't expect people to jump on the bandwagon, especially with last week's issues, but we're there that week. And we also got a few new followers on our Twitter account. Would you like to plug that for us, Matt? Go on.
What's at Talk Wrestle Pod?
At Talk Wrestle Pod. Oh yeah, you like it. You love it when we plug that son of a bitch, don't you? So yeah, busy news. This is the final week leading into Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is, well, tonight when this uploads. Or maybe I'll be lucky. Maybe I'll feel good because I might even upload this Saturday night. So you might get it early. Who knows? Maybe I'm feeling generous. But it is this weekend. It's been a long time since we had a pay-per-view been on. They've had a bit longer than they usually do. Sometimes it's as less as 3 weeks. And we've had about 6, 7, I'd say.
Yeah.
Since the last one. As we're used to with the... the winter break and all that, or the Christmas, stuff like that. So
the Christmas flump.
Yeah. So we've got our predictions there for this week, and we'll be telling you who we think wins. And this is pivotal predictions because it's basically where we think WWE are going to be taking
WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much. And what they're going to be doing with that. So big predictions. They'll be at the end of the show. We have some news to get through, some interesting news. We also have. Not really much of a fan feedback because we answered the majority of your questions last week, but we do have a fail of the week as well, and it isn't one that we talked about last week on the hidden episode. As we said before, if we have a mess up or we're not able to release one of our episodes, we do entirely new stuff. So
yeah,
no, it's not. It's just because I hate talking about things we've already talked about. That's the real kicker.
It's kind of one thing that made the previous episode difficult, sort of like the fan feedback. It's like, not that we don't enjoy answering your questions, it's just the fact that we answered them 3 times before you finally got to hear it.
Yeah, which was quite frustrating. Not really much we can do about that, unfortunately. But obviously, not much we can do. But we'll move on with this week, and we'll be able to give you all of our Raw review. As I said, very interesting Raw this week. If you want our thoughts on what we thought about last week, we essentially summed it up in one word, which was fairy tales. I know that's 2 words. Technically it's 1 word. But you know what I mean. It's
fantasy.
Fantasy. There you go. Yeah. Roman Reigns decided to
beans.
Yeah, we're not pleased. And before we start off the show, I heard that he had an even worse promo he did on SmackDown this week because he got off relatively easy on Raw, but don't know what's going on with that guy. Anyway, let's get on to our news. Interesting news here for myself and Matt to talk about. Lisa Marie Varon. You may know her as Tara in TNA and Victoria in WWE. She is outright buried TNA on JR's podcast. Not so much news, so to speak, but it's interesting read, and she does very much burn the company with some stuff. Have you listened to this podcast yet, Matt?
I haven't yet, no.
Yeah.
But I will admit, whenever I'm going through my podcast one, I just overlook everyone and just go straight for Jericho.
Yeah, well, sometimes I catch JR's as well. I know some people dislike JR's because he tends to talk over his guests, but I don't have too much of an issue with it. But
not to say I don't enjoy JR's, they're always good, and it's good old JR. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But realistically, with this own podcast, how much time do you have to listen to other people's podcasts?
yeah,
Considering you and me sometimes do 2 a week, you know.
yeah,
So,
it's like I will just listen to Jericho.
yeah.
I just generally, like, I have 2 hours on a Sunday morning. Jericho it is.
Jericho it is. Yeah. You just love that cowbell, don't you? You know, you like to sing along. With
And
it.
like cowbell from Mark Henry's entrance music is the greatest thing ever. Somebody gotta get their ass kicked.
Oh dear, oh dear. One thing people did miss last week was your imitation of Macho Man and all that lot as well. After I butchered that one, I'm kind of glad that didn't.
No, you butchered a Paul Bearer.
I'll butcher Paul Bearer, but yeah, it was still. But anyway, back to the news story. Anyway, the kind of stuff that she says here is very indicative to how TNA run their things. Apparently, Tara, I'll just name it her because we're talking about TNA and what she was there. She spent a lot of her own money advertising an event close to where she lives, and then when the event actually got there, so it wasn't TNA actually spending money in terms of getting advertisement for them. When it came over, she wasn't even on the like the posters that were made for that actual event, which is a bit crappy. The worst thing apparently that really was the kicker for her in terms of leaving TNA, and I have no idea why they did this. The only thing I can think of is perhaps they just got bitter towards her as a person, which isn't exactly a great way to run a company, but still. She says that she has like a pizza place, pizza restaurant, which she's quite happy about, and she owns it and does her thing. Apparently, TNA were actively promoting rivaling pizza establishments directly, that are in competition with her.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. I guess, like I said, down to bitterness. That's the only reason I could think that they would do this.
Fuck you, Tara.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's ridiculous. And she said apparently to Pritchard just before she left, Bruce Pritchard, I'm not thinking his first name is Pritchard before people. I know someone's going to put, I know it's Bruce Pritchard.
I don't.
She said that upon her leaving, she would like to punch Dixie in the face, and he replied, "You'll be doing everyone a favour." So that kind of shows how Dixie is viewed out by some people. That
There's
works.
cracks in this.
Yeah, exactly. And I would have paid good money to see, Tara
versus Dixie match.
Just a one punch. I'd be happy with that.
Just a straight dunk.
Just a
Off on the nose.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
dunk.
Like I said, this is like very petty and very. Like, it's almost like you're disappointed. This is the kind of stuff that I expect of my 5-year-old little girl, not off of a person that owns a wrestling company who's far older than my 5-year-old little girl.
Even if it's just like as a wrestling company, just a business in general.
Yeah. It's
just like as someone who owns and runs, it's like that's fucking childish.
That doesn't even support what she does for her own for TNA. That's got nothing to do with helping TNA. It's just being a bitch. There's no other way of getting around it. People know famously, I do not like Dixie. Don't like the way that she runs her mouth at times, and she spends too much time with her gob open talking about other companies than, in terms
worrying
of
about her own.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's got plenty of issues with her own company to deal with, so deal with that first. Second piece of news. Get ready, guys. I'm going to tell you exactly why this apparently groundbreaking new show is going to come back, and apparently it's going to be the best thing ever, and I'm going to explain exactly why that isn't the case.
Oh, please don't tell me you're going to refer to Tough Enough.
I'm referring to Tough Enough.
Oh.
Yeah, USA apparently are keen on making this an American Idol style show, so you can expect voting to happen on the show. So obviously now it's down to their popularity of people doing whatever they want to. Here's the thing that makes this completely wrong. First of all, and Matt knows this because I've said it to him plenty of times. Maybe not so much on this podcast. However,
in general, yes.
In general, the last Tough Enough they did. Whether or not you thought he was worthy of winning it or not, that's irrelevant. He won the show. Big Andy was his name, right?
Yeah.
He no-sold the stunner. He's the guy that no-sold the stunner. He made no appearances on the main roster after winning, and he was promptly fired. Now, regardless of the reasons why he was fired, this sets a precedence that people, watchers of Tough Enough, naturally assume, because we're educated to believe so, doesn't really matter if you win Tough Enough, you ain't getting on the roster.
That's it. Yep. I mean, the one thing that I think Tough Enough did was kind of cripple WWE in a way. It's just like, oh, look at all these good people. Like they had Martin. No, I haven't heard anything. I heard on a Steve Austin podcast about a year ago that he had a tryout. I haven't seen him on NXT. Don't think it went well.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, is that Eve Elise? Oh, But she's gone elsewhere now, and I see it everywhere. Like, Ivelisse is now at this promotion and now wrestling here, and I'm just like, I might actually watch that. Because she was good.
Yeah, she was very good, wasn't she? There was a few people on there you thought they should probably just try and go with, and it is.
I wouldn't even mind if Jeremiah came back.
Yeah, like it's not even that. The thing is, the problem is that sits in my mouth, right? Is that the only surviving person from Tough Enough that made it onto the roster was the person eliminated in the first week of the show.
Yeah, my favourite match was Alicia Fox versus a Melina.
Yeah. So that kind of gets the thought onto it. Here's the thing as well, right? If you're tempted to get your phones out and vote for whoever you think will win the show, I would urge you to put down your phone and be a little bit more intelligent. Because the fans may get to choose, but if WWE doesn't like their choice, when it's all said and done, they won't see the back end of NXT, let alone the main roster.
That's it.
Let's be realistic here. If Vince doesn't like whoever wins it, you won't see them. They'll win the show and they'll be gone. Congratulations.
But the crowd liked them.
Yeah.
And
it's not even Big Andy from the last Tough Enough was the only guy to follow this mould. You had Daniel Puder, who we covered on the Fail of the Week, with his interaction with Kurt Angle. He was exactly the same. Won the show, apparently for their $1 million Tough Enough, even though it was 4 years of $250,000, and they could cut you after the first year, which is exactly what they did to the guy.
A quarter of $1 million Tough Enough.
It's ridiculous. Guys, I loved the original Tough Enough. I thought it was pretty cool, being able to, especially as I was quite young back then, being able to see the industry in a different light, right? Now
Al Snow did an amazing job.
Yeah. But now it's a bit of a joke, Tough Enough, to me. I don't have that much. I will watch it out of morbid curiosity. It's not as if the people even if I get behind one of the guys and think this guy could be something, I'm not going to hold my breath and think, oh, well, they might actually do something with him,
Well, I said we thought the same thing because I know, like you and me were just like Martin to win, he broke his ankle. Shit.
They're going to start having someone like, they have like Dermot O'Leary over here. Who's the guy who does the America's Got Talent, like Nick Cannon or something? I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, guys will know what I'm thinking of. They're going to end up having someone like that, like wrapping their hands around the guys. Do you think you're going to make it this week? Why should I give a shit? I don't give a shit. No. Make me give a shit. You've educated me to believe that I shouldn't, so there you are. I think they've set a bad precedence for themselves in previous incarnations. But guys, just if you think voting makes any difference, even if your vote makes a difference in terms of who wins the show, doesn't matter regardless of whether that person will get a career out of it or not.
Yeah.
That's just right. Vince doesn't like him. Vince doesn't like him.
And Vince don't like him. Vince won't pay them.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the news for this week. I hope you guys are a bit excited for Tough Enough. At very least, it would be thing. One thing I do want to go in before we go into other segments of our show there this week. I watched the first episode of Legends House on the WWE Network.
For $9.99.
Well, for $12.99 where I am because of Irish tax law. I have to say, and please don't flame on me for this. It's only my opinion. I thought the show wasn't that good.
I haven't seen it.
I thought the first episode was quite boring, I have to be honest, and I have heard from some people that it does pick up, like the first episode they're technically trying to educate people, and to me it was just like, I know these people don't need to know their backstories.
We're trying to educate you, but I am educated.
I know
I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah. I know who Hacksaw Jim Duggan is. I know who Mean Gene Okerlund is. I know who the Fink is.
I watch the Royal Rumble every now and then. I know who Hacksaw Jim Duggan is.
I've watched like 8 Royal Rumbles in the last week. It's been pretty mad.
Really?
Yeah. Including the one where Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack opened up the show. So.
Oh, wow.
I'm
still trying to get through SummerSlam 02. I'm just struggling to find time for it. I've watched like an hour and that's it. I've got as far as like Benoit versus...
Sorry, you mean Stevie Richards?
RVD. Yeah, Stevie Richards versus RVD for the IC title.
Yeah. Stevie Richards, man. He was... What a WrestleMania 20 that guy had. That was pretty legendary. One of these days, man, it's going to come up that someone's going to ask us the Benoit question, and I will go apeshit.
Oh, what? If he should be inducted? No.
And
we'll just call it. That's it. I'll just say no now, and we'll get it over with.
Because you don't want that can of worms open with me, do you? So
no.
Jesus, I get extremely pissed when people some ways they talk about conspiracies to do with Benoit, and I've got no time for it. Sorry, I just don't. But that's just me. I'm not a conspiracy person either, to be honest. Fail of the week. There is some small fan feedback. Someone said, joking along, maybe they've listened to our previous podcast, that we should go review Capital Punishment. I'll leave that to Matt. He has the DVD of it. So
don't make me do it. I don't want to watch it again. I watched it once, and that was bad enough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's quite funny. No, we're not going to review Capital. We might do, but
I might just watch it on the network. That way, I don't actually have to
open up the DVD case.
Open the DVD and actually acknowledge its existence. Yeah. It's not here. I watched it on the network.
We'll have to one of these days. I tell you what, we will go and look at because we rag on that pay-per-view a lot because it was poo. But we'll go back and just rant on it.
Shall I just bring the DVD? Because I'll be over with you in a couple of weeks. Shall I just bring the DVD?
No. Okay. Don't waste either of our time, please. There's plenty of stuff we can watch, Matt. There's loads of stuff. Don't bring the shittiest stuff. Come on now. Yeah. So, God, the days where Alex Riley could co-main event a main event, huh? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Fail of the week.
Speaking of Alex Riley, that could be a fail of the week.
His career.
The rise. Everyone's fucking yes, Alex Riley. He's gonna do it. And then suddenly, no,
he's not. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, fail of the week. This fail of the week, I look to a man of legendary status. I look to a man who maybe, I'll admit, perhaps didn't get as much airtime as maybe he deserved. And I know Kayfabe News loves to learn loads of articles about how he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I agree. I'm being sarcastic at the moment, guys, but I agree that he should be in there. Matt, do you remember the legend that is Mordecai?
I wish I didn't.
Well, I wouldn't blame you if you did forget him because he wasn't around for that long, shall we say.
Yeah.
Now, this is someone, if you guys don't know, you would actually find it quite hard to find Mordecai, even on the network. He wasn't around for very long. You may know him as he later would become Kevin Thorne. He was on that ECW brand. He went to do a lot of other stuff as well.
Yep.
But as the character of Mordecai, they run tons of vignettes about him. Basically being the yin to Undertaker's yang, the light against the dark, even though he was kind of a heel character anyway. But, the whole religious dark, but, sort of thing that was going on there. And the fact that for some reason they booked him to be albino, but I don't know why they were going with that. All these vignettes set him up, and apparently people were saying at that time, wow, man, he is going to be set up for a feud with The Undertaker. Whoa, what a feud to come in with, Matt, isn't it? You'd love to start off a career feuding against The Undertaker, wouldn't you? Yeah, of course you would.
Straight onto the deep end, straight onto the top part of the ladder.
Yeah, exactly. However, Mordecai made one appearance, he lost to Rey Mysterio and then disappeared.
Yep.
That's the legend of Mordecai. There you are.
Done.
Not much else we can really say about it. Except for the fact that you can find the match he had, it wasn't good. And the fact that, it was a bit ridiculous. He disappeared very quickly. Often WWE kind of have to leave it a couple of weeks before they even or a couple of months sometimes before they realise a gimmick isn't working. They pulled this one pretty damn quick. They were pretty much...
That's it. It's nope, done with that.
Yeah, let's just remove him straight away. So any thoughts of him rivaling The Undertaker, being in a feud here and a feud there? Yeah, that soon was down a bit. I would go and recommend to you guys go look at Kayfabe News' stuff where they've done tons of stuff about him being snubbed from the Hall of Fame and stuff like this. It's brilliant. It's awesome. But yeah, he's a big fail. And every now and then they get these new stars come out. They give them tons of vignettes. Look at the New Day right now. Look at the New Day.
The thing about Mordecai though is it's what gimmick can we give him next? Fuck it, vampire.
It's pretty much like that, isn't it?
It's but it didn't work. I don't care.
All I can think of is a creative meeting. They're all wondering what to do. What should we do with this guy? And then suddenly Vince has got a copy of Twilight, closes the book. He's a vampire. Done. There you go.
You know what I just saw recently? I just saw that interview with a vampire film. I'll make him a vampire.
Oh dear. So I'd love to be a fly on the wall of some of those creative meetings. As you said there, Matt, they just chop off the head of a chicken, and wherever they die, that's what they go with. You know?
Yeah, I can just imagine that it is essentially just raw roulette. Just they're throwing daggers at it.
And like, you know, the three big cornerstones, they've got all the good ideas in one quadrant, and the three other quadrants, one of them is the distraction roll-up pin, the other is having one of their mid-range title champions be pinned that night, and the other one's a Divas match.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they land on them almost every week. So, there you are. Total Divas storyline, sorry, not a Divas match, because Divas matches can be good. I went back on the network and I watched tons of fucking wrestling matches with Trish Stratus, Lita, Jazz, fucking all those girls back in there were ripping it up, and I'm like, these girls got more than 2 minutes. They got 15 minutes.
Hell, Trish and Lita main evented Raw once.
Oh, God, it is actually really painful. And one of the, I'll put this in now before we go to the Raw review, because I think this is a topic that we would speak about a little bit. Because you and me we've been vocal since the first episode, right? That the Divas division hasn't been what it could be. In fact, it has potential and stuff. And this is an interesting fact that I've looked at going back on the network and watching all this other stuff. That now, more than ever, the girls are subjected as less of a sex object than they ever have been. And you may be thinking, oh, Nikki Bella basically flashes her tits every week, you know, because she shows all of her cleavage. That is true. Back then, not too long ago, and we're talking 2006, so, you know, around about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You had Maria oiling up Tori Wilson while she oiled up Maria, and they were basically like both in bikinis and stuff, you know, and that was a segment. Okay.
Well, yeah, especially considering it's like, oh, that's just like part of the segment. Just like it's not too long. Like we're talking 7-8 years since the last like bra and panties match.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's my point here, Matt, and this is very interesting because I was like, wow, this is quite interesting. Considering the decreasing amount of objectification on the women on their roster.
Yep.
Isn't it ironic that has decreased, so has the quality of their matches?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think it would be the other way around? You think with the fact that they use less and less,
the sex symbol, more of a wrestler should provide better jobs.
Yeah.
Better jobs, better work.
Yeah, for them, you know, to be able to be taken more seriously, not only as women but as competitors. And it seems like it's gone the other way. It's quite odd, really. I think it's the transition for them becoming sex symbols, not to wrestlers, but reality stars. And that's the issue.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to talk about Total Divas in absolute... in its breadth, you know, I'm going to talk about it loads. And it won't be with you, Matt. It will be with someone who's watched every season of it. It will be my wife who will be on the show, and she'll be talking about Total Divas. And she's watching all the seasons, and she's about halfway through. And I'm going to talk about why I don't like it and why she does like it. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting thing.
But you're talking about someone who watches the Kardashians.
Yeah, but, you know, that's what that show is kind of trying to get towards, isn't it? And it's ironic, even though that she watches Total Divas, she doesn't watch wrestling. As much as I do, obviously, for this. But, you know, she doesn't watch as much, you know. So, interesting. Let me know, actually, in terms of feedback, because, I mean, you guys, our fans, have been great for feedback on this show. You guys give us loads of questions. It's been awesome, you know. The show itself has transformed from having 100 subscribers to 200 subscribers. It's been mad. It's been amazing. So we'd love to hear your feedback in terms of why do you think that has been the case, that the lack of objectification of women on the roster has led to worse matches? Is it because women nowadays, maybe because of the lack of objectification? I'm not an advocate for that. I'm happy the fact they're not objectified in that manner, but maybe because they're not used in that way, and Vince doesn't think that's entertaining, he uses them less. That's an argument. You know, oh, they're not getting their tits and arse out each week. Guys don't want to see that. I'm not going to put them in matches because that's not entertaining. Maybe that's what goes through his mind. That's something, actually, interestingly, that maybe if there's ever another interview with Vince, I would like that question to be asked.
Yeah.
Not, do you prefer tits and arse? Because, of course, he would say yes. Well, he would say no because, women, you know, but we know Vince. But whether or not that the fact that really he can't use women objectively as much as he used to anymore. So that's probably the reason why he's downplayed them as a role on TV as much as they were. Would be interesting to ask him that question, I think, and see what the answer is. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's a very interesting topic, and if we've got any female listeners, then I would love to hear from you on this topic. So, let's talk about Raw, Matt. Our Raw recap this week. I will stop short in saying this was a humdinger. It wasn't a humdinger of a Raw, but it was a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed with Raw.
Much better than last week's shenanigans. So there was a lot of stuff to talk about here. A lot of the stuff that we've been critical over the last couple of weeks is the likes of their champion Brock Lesnar not being used that well. I can't say that this week. I thought he was used fairly well.
Over the past 2 weeks he's been gold.
Yeah. Another big thing that we've said in terms of like how the show has sort of had its big negative points over the last couple of weeks is Roman Reigns. His promos have been nothing short but abysmal and downright confusing at times.
It was insulting.
Yeah. This week he didn't say anything, so that was okay. So a lot of the things that were wrong with the last couple of weeks were fixed. It's not that
did what we expected of him.
Yeah, exactly. There are a few more problems that come up with this show, but I think this show, ultimately, a go-home show, and you'll agree with this, Matt, because you go by the same ethic I am, a go-home show has one objective, and that it has to achieve that only objective, which is to sell tickets for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, don't forget, this Sunday, this is happening.
Yeah. If they sell more tickets for the pay-per-view via this Raw, objective complete. You can go home with a smile on your face. I think they did that. Okay, let's talk about Raw. Anyway.
I'm actually really looking forward to the main event.
Yeah, it's shaping up nicely. Anyway, so it's the go home edition to Raw, leading into the Royal Rumble. It's also celebrating Martin Luther King Day.
Yep.
So we must all remember that on this day, Mr. T does love his mother.
That's it.
Live from Dallas, Texas, and the big news actually for Texas is that WrestleMania 32 will take place there. So that's big commercial news for that area.
I find it really, really weird though, because it's like they go, "Oh, it's Martin Luther King Day." That's all well and good. Then suddenly it's just like I noticed that the cameras, as soon as it went back into the studio, like into the arena, they were just like, "All the black people, where are they? Get them on camera." There.
Yeah.
Welcome to Raw.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's quite ironic as well that this Raw was the Raw reunion. So everything was pretty much packed here. You got the go home for Royal Rumble, Martin Luther King Day, Raw reunion, and they had a lot of stuff. The one thing I will praise them for, and we've always praised them for on this show, is the way that WWE runs their video packages. They ran a very nice Martin Luther King Day tribute.
Yeah.
Before the show, and I know it doesn't sway that much from the ones they've done before, but it's still good, guys. It's still good stuff, and got its message across. I think is the most important thing.
That's it.
Some people may point the finger at WWE for not elevating their black stars. I always think that's so funny when you got people doing that. It's like, well, they had The Rock, guys. Whether or not you want to argue whether he's black or not, that's down to you. But
he's not he's not black, but he's not Caucasian.
Yeah, he definitely ain't white. I can tell you that much. So. But I love it. It's like, oh, but he doesn't count in the argument. Well, then in which case your argument's invalid. That's my reply to that.
How does The Rock not count?
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that they've had black world heavyweight champions as far recently as Mark Henry being a world heavyweight champion. That wasn't that long ago, guys.
That's it.
Lashley, I thought, was booked excellently. If he had stayed with the company longer, he would have been WWE champion by now. That was down to his own volition in terms of why he wanted to leave. I don't think WWE are racist. That's my opinion.
No.
World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar. He opens up the show this week. And this is how I think you should start the show. Go out with your big box office attraction right from the get-go. And let them know, the fans, that this is a show worth watching. That you are really into this now because I wanted to hear what Paul Heyman or Brock Lesnar had to say. In terms of what they did, what they want to go here. And Brock Lesnar himself, he was pissed over last week.
It's like, what? You're not going to let Paul talk?
Yeah.
We want Paul.
I know. But the fact is that as a character, as the character of Brock Lesnar on a wrestling show, if he feels the need to talk himself, you've gone an extra level with Brock Lesnar. And it felt that way. So that was good. He says he wants Rollins to get his ass into the ring because he's going to beat the shit out of him.
For the curb stomp at the end of Raw last week, yep.
That's it, yeah. He says, when he shows up, it's business time, and he gives Rollins 10 seconds to appear.
It's business.
God.
Just go Flight of the Conchords on him.
Flight of the Conchords on him. I don't think that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are going to get guitars and start telling everyone it's business time, you know.
I put my shoes on, it's the perfect time for business time.
There you go, more homework. Go listen to Business Time by Flight of the Conchords. It has no reference to what we're talking about now, but
nope.
that's the way it is. So he asked for Seth Rollins. We got the Authority instead. So things were starting to look quite interesting. Yeah, I would like to state right here, as soon as the Authority got involved, things nosedived pretty damn quickly. In terms of the entire promo, it felt like Lesnar here was like all killer no filler. He was waiting for Rollins to come out, he wanted to kick the shit out of him, and then suddenly he's like, oh, okay, now we're getting this again. So, oh well. He says Triple H comes out first on his own anyway. He says that Brock would have done the same in Seth's position. Tries to tempt him backstage with a big juicy steak. I tell you what, Matt. He's a man after our own hearts. If we were in the ring, he would have tempted us back with a big juicy steak. I probably wouldn't have gone to the backstage myself.
It's like steak? Yes.
I like steak. Fucking love it, man. I do like my steak.
I am sold.
You like steak? How'd you like your steak, Matt? How'd you like your steak?
Blood.
Oh, really? Really? I like mine the other way round. Well done. Well done. That's how I like it. So you learn a little bit more about us each week, guys.
There has to be some blood on the plate, damn it.
So yeah, if you meet two wrestling fans in a steak shop, and one of them's bloody, one of them's and one of them's got a cane, then you know it might be a chance it could be the LTW guys. You never know. You never know. I'm still wondering whether one day someone's going to hear my voice. I know we've got fans close to where I live.
Yeah, nearby, Tony.
Still. So yeah, that's quite funny there. I thought Brock, I thought he would like a good steak, but no, he's there, he's ready to fight.
It's a steak man, to be fair.
Yeah, he tells everyone that he's ready to fight. Then the rest of the Authority comes out, and again, it's a shame. Brock he started making this interesting again, and suddenly he's like, oh, okay, now we get the rest of them. Okay. Seth finally appears on the Titantron. He says that Brock needs to be patient because at the weekend he'll beat him. Heyman then does the awesome thing. He starts begging the Authority to fix last week's actions, or Brock will decimate Rollins and walk out the champion regardless. I love the way that Heyman, when it gets to this point for Brock Lesnar's character, where he feels like he needs to fix something, or he gets pissed off, or he's talking on his own, Heyman almost like he's the gatekeeper who's like, I need to fix this because Brock Lesnar's going to kill everyone. He just starts acting like that, like, oh my goodness, like, Brock, don't do it to him, don't do it to him, Brock. I love it, because it builds him more as this guy that could seriously hurt people.
Yeah.
That even Heyman, who wouldn't mind him hurting people, suddenly he's like, no, you can't do it, you'll do too much damage. I love the way they go around that.
He's like the proper devil's advocate.
Yeah. However, this brings out John Cena, and you may be wondering, well, so, first of all, we had Brock Lesnar, then we had Triple H, then we had the Authority, then we had Seth Rollins, then we had John Cena. I hate it in promos, or segments that run as long as 20 minutes, as this one did, where they constantly keep bringing people out. It annoys me. It elongates the promo when it doesn't need to. It reminds me a lot of the TNA promo that I absolutely slammed. This is in the early days of our show now. Because people just kept coming out. Sometimes people come out, go away, then come back into the segment. It reminded me too much of that. The segment had an air at that point that it just wasn't going to end. That all the steam out of it was lost. It could have ended with Lesnar doing his thing, maybe Seth Rollins appearing on the Titantron, taunting him. You could have had a segment with that. I would have been fine with that. Would you have been fine with that, Matt?
Yeah, I wouldn't have shunned it.
Yeah, maybe at the end, just as a quick thing, Triple H comes out and says, oh, I'm setting up the gauntlet for John Cena and I'm going to do this thing and whatever. But you can even do that as a separate segment. You don't need this here. I hate the fact that these opening segments are going 20 minutes or longer. And the fact that I'm only through half of my notes for this segment shows you how long this thing took. It was... Yeah. I mean, I know, mate. I know you like segments opening shows. Yeah, and I said...
Yeah, but it's like this got a bit much.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to rag on. I promise In fact, it was last week that I promised. You guys might have missed it, but I did promise that I wasn't going to rag on opening shows anymore. And I want matches to open shows. I'm not going to rag on it. I'm going to rag on the fact that even if this show opened up with a promo that was half this length, it would have been better than having a 20-minute opening. That's all I'm saying there. Cena's just kind of rambling. He's just being.
Hey, it's no Hogan Austin Rock opening.
No, definitely not. So Cena's got a new shirt, sky blue, to sell to all of his fans. I'm sure that'll make him a lot of money coming up to WrestleMania season. There's a reason why they did this now, getting the new shirt. He talks a load of nonsense. I'm fired up, blah blah. I'll never give up. The champ is here. Blah. You know the whole thing right now. He says he'll do anything to get the 3 fired stars back. Just as the segment seems it's ending, Cena walks out. Stephanie calls Cena back, and it keeps going on. And she says exactly what she did last week, so it wasn't as if we needed to hear it.
Giving anything.
Yeah. Either creative think we're stupid, and we need to hear their plot over and over again until it gets into our thick heads, or they're just bad writing. I'll leave our fans to decide which is which. They're both as insulting as the other, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So, the segment continues, and it's all just pretty much... It's just... At this point, I was like, I'm enough of the talking. I clocked out. I did. I didn't really care what they had to say at the end of it.
It's like, oh, what's that? I don't care.
Yeah. It's 20 minutes of an opening promo, including the Authority. They couldn't even give Brock a decent amount of time to get his point across, which was interesting. The fans were well up for that. They set up the match anyway for later on. Should Cena put up his title shot?
They're just like, should he do it?
Yeah.
But we won't tell you the match type.
Yeah. And they put it up to like a vote with the fans. And apparently that will show us how we feel about... apparently this will show Cena how we feel about him. It's all bollocks. And after Brock's awesome opening and the show feeling like it was coming into its own. And like I said, I said overall, guys, as you heard earlier on, I thought the show was good. They've got to get rid of openings like this.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, too long. And like I said, I mean, I do this for the podcast, so I want to relay all this information to you guys. I checked out. I couldn't listen to any more. It was all the stuff I've heard before. Why would I care? That's, I know you're exactly the same, Matt. I know you like these segments in having talking style openings, but even for someone that likes that over matches, which you do, and you say you don't like it, yeah, isn't it? Anyway, first match of the night. Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. You may be wondering, why would you book this match, considering they just rebooted Wyatt, so he needs to be coming in strong, and Bryan just came back. I would argue Bryan shouldn't be wrestling at all. That's my argument to that.
So I do the whole, I will be back. I'll be back at Rumble.
And then he's back a couple of weeks before the Royal Rumble. I don't know why he's wrestling now. To be honest, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have kept him a secret. I would have announced, I'm going to be at the Rumble. I would even announce the number that he's going to come out as well. That way you've got fans really perking up for when oh wow, this next one's Daniel Bryan. They're all going to cheer for him on his return. It'll be an awesome moment. It takes the gloss of him returning at the Royal Rumble, the fact he's already wrestled a few matches. And been beaten, no less. He was beaten in this match. So, Anyway, let's talk about the match. It was a good match, and I like the fact that it was a nod to the excellent match that these two guys had last year at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that. That was fantastic. It really was a great match. Which Bray Wyatt won.
Even the fact the commentary mentioned it as well.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. And like I said, this is the first match that Bryan has had on Raw in 8 months plus, shall we say?
Something like that, yeah.
The first thing I thought when I looked at him, he looks more and more like a wrestling Jesus every time I see him.
It's the fact that he started tying the hair back as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like...
He looks godly in that role, shall we say. He looks divine. Yeah?
We'll just give him the Baron Corbin spotlights.
Yeah. No, just the single spotlight with down upon him, and he just...
Oh, well, like when Batista went heel for a while. Just like the spot... Just,
yeah. Give him Mordecai's theme music. That would work. Oh, God. Nah, he's fine the way he is. We're obviously joking. So, Kane comes through midway, not to Mordecai's theme music, of course, and he obviously interferes. That's what Kane does, you know. And he costs Bryan the match. Bryan is pinned, and he's pinned. You know, not even the referee DQ. It was just a clean pin. I know it's not really a clean pin, but you get what I mean. He was beaten. Yeah. 3 count. I thought
roll up.
Yeah. And considering that they pull out all the stops for having DQ finishes, it seems weird that they wouldn't do it for a returning Daniel Bryan. Afterwards, anyway, Kane beats down Bryan, and the match is set up for SmackDown. Apparently, we're supposed to believe that Kane is going to end his career. I don't see that happening. But
yeah, well, I find it odd because it was this SmackDown, wasn't it? It's like if Daniel Bryan loses to Kane, Daniel Bryan's not in the Royal Rumble. It's like, really?
Yeah.
I guess the loss to Wyatt was enough to sort of sow seeds of doubts. Just like, maybe he can lose on his return. But you and me are smarter than that. And we're just like, cool. Go on. I ain't buying it.
Like WWE last year, how much did they get booed? Poor Rey Mysterio, when he came out and wasn't Daniel Bryan, he got booed
the fact
to
that it was
shit.
That bad, we haven't seen Mysterio since that number 30 slot. It's like, you're not Bryan! Fuck off! Oh.
I'd argue that, you know, a cancer-riddled child walking out on a Zimmer frame probably would have got booed if he wasn't Daniel Bryan.
They could have brought out Conor the Crusher and he'd have got booed.
Oh no, I would have booed Conor the Crusher. I would have been like, yes, he's going to win the Rumble. Conor the Crusher rocks. Yeah. He got match of the week on this podcast, goddammit, against Triple H. I'd stand by that.
Yeah, very true.
That match got me in the heart right there.
Right in the feels.
Right in the feels. But yeah, poor Rey Mysterio on that fact. But imagine if that's the reason why you and me know better, and anyone with half a brain cell knows better. They ain't gonna have a Rumble without Daniel Bryan. That's just laughable. It really is. So. I will go by my previous statement that 70% or 80% of Daniel Bryan is better than 95% of the roster because he's that good.
I'd say 50% of Bryan.
Yeah.
Who's better than half the roster.
Yeah. You will notice here that he was still doing a lot of dives, he's still doing a lot of slams. I have noticed that he's toned down a lot of the stuff that maybe he would do before. Guys, did you see a standing drop kick off the turnbuckle? I didn't, and thank God he's not doing it anymore because...
I mean, I did hear on an interview somewhere that he'd be like, it will be similar, but it will be tweaked, sort of thing.
He has to. There's no. If he was doing the same thing,
it's like, I would. That, 9 months out of your career? I mean, are you going to carry on doing the same thing? You idiot.
Yeah. And he's good enough that he can tweak it, and it'll be fine. So it would be stupid of him not to. That's my argument of that. So. Here we go. I'll go back to my initial assessment. Why is Bryan wrestling matches? If you really want him to be involved in some sort of segment involving Kane, then have him be in a lot of physical brawls with Kane. Do that. Yeah. Don't have him wrestle. I would have had him wrestle before the Royal Rumble. I think him not wrestling before the Royal Rumble takes a lot of gloss. Him wrestling before the Royal Rumble has taken gloss off of him returning. Because technically he's already returned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? That's my thoughts on it. Triple H is met backstage by Scott Hall and Kevin Nash of the Clique, as we know.
That's it.
They urge him to drop the suit and ride old school with them. And HBK shows up as well. He wants him to serve drinks at the Legend panel later in that night. I love this segment because Triple H is doing his best throughout the entire thing not to laugh and not to smile.
Yeah, trying to, like, I am a serious businessman now.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid. You could just run riot with you guys.
I would tell people to go back and watch this segment and just keep your eyes on Triple H because he is fighting it big time. You know, he's beaming the fact he's next to his best friends.
Yeah.
It gave me a smile, I have to admit. But HBK says that the fired guy should come back, and Triple H says, well, he doesn't tell Shawn how to kill defenseless animals. And I was like, well, that's quite a burn considering all the controversy. Well, not all. It's not. I'm saying there's loads, but there was a bit of controversy around HBK's show and animal rights and all that stuff. They wonder where X-Pac is. This brings out Damien X-Dow. X-Pac.
Do you know what? I think he looked awesome.
I actually mistook him for X-Pac when he first came in.
I was like, it's X. Oh.
I was like, wow.
X-Pac actually came out and like. Oh.
First of all, I was like, wow, X-Pac's beefed up a bit. Wow, he's looking for a comeback.
He's probably grown his beard out and everything.
Yeah. X-Pac likes what he sees. He wants to hire Damien X-Pac, but Miz is not amused. After Miz does his thing, Nash asks Triple H what kind of show he's running, and then Triple H cannot hold it in. He laughs while saying, "I'm so ashamed," and they're all bursting out in laughter. I got a smile out of this, guys. I did.
I like this backstage segment. Like any opportunity that you get, sort of like we see like the chemistry of like old teams come back together, and it's just like and plus the fact we're so used to seeing Triple H just being a dick.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people go, "Oh, he's a heel. He shouldn't be laughing like that." Well,
he's mocking one of his guys. I'm pretty sure we'll forgive him for that.
It's not as if like these people are stopping him or telling him he's doing a dick job. Even HBK didn't really go that far. He was just like, "Oh, you should hire him back." It wasn't like, "If you don't hire him back, Hunter, I'm going to question your morals and ethics." It wasn't really like that.
If you don't hire him back, I'm going to think you're a dick.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. You know. I don't have any problem. I thought this was entertaining, and that's all I ask from my wrestling show. If it's entertaining, it's okay. So anyway, yeah, I just love go back and watch it again. And Triple H, he's doing his best not to laugh. I'm sure if he could have his way, he would have those guys around him each and every week on the show. It would get old quick, but he would do it.
Yeah.
Byron Saxton hosts the Royal Rumble Legends panel with Hogan. You may be asking me, wow, there's a lot of segments here back to back. Well, actually, in the first hour and a half of the show, there was only one match, and you've already seen it. There was a lot of these big segments. Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I did hit a point later on. I was like, "God, where's the main event?" I was like, "We're like 25 minutes from the main event. Surely, no, we still gotta have a match." Right, we're 20 minutes from the main event. No, we still gotta have a Divas match.
They booked them all at the end of the show. It was quite odd. I don't know why they did that, but. So he hosts the Royal Rumble Legends panel. You've got Hogan, HBK, and Ric Flair. And I said before, and I say it again, I think it's great, and no disrespect to David Flair, but I think it's great that the Flair legacy doesn't rest in the hands of Flair's son. It rests in the hands of his daughter, Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a far better wrestler than David Flair ever was. Outright. Yeah. I saw David Flair live. He wasn't that good. I saw him on TV. He wasn't that good. But she seems to take the whole Flair mantle with, carry it along with her rather than burdening her, which I think kind of...
The thing I quite like is the fact that it was a stage with Charlotte's like, I don't want to be remembered as Flair's daughter, but now she's like, yeah, I'm a Flair.
Yeah, embrace it, sure. And people won't forget that you're Flair's daughter, you know?
No, exactly.
As long as you embrace it and you make it something of your own, I've got no issue with them doing that. Unless you're just ripping off your family sort of thing, like you're basically copying exactly everything that they do. Something's wrong with that. But I think Charlotte's doing a great job. I think it's ironic considering Flair's a problem with women in his life. You know, in terms of multiple marriages and divorces and lawsuits.
And it's like the one thing that's carry on his legacy is a woman.
Is a woman. It's ironic, isn't it? A little bit. And I'm not saying, he's got such a hate for women. In fact, Flair loves women. That's kind of the problem.
He loves them a little too much.
Yeah, he loves them a little bit too much, but it is ironic, all things considered. So they asked their opinion on Cena's situation. Their lack of an elaborate answer pleased me because I didn't really care. There was like,
you know what? I love HBK in this segment. It was just like it's that. It just reminds me of sort of like the HBK of old, where it's just like fooling around more than actually trying. It's like you need to be serious here. No. Yeah.
He was in his DX kind of state of mind.
It's like maybe I should stand like Ric Flair did.
Yeah. He was entertaining here, HBK. He's still got it. I like that he embraces the silly side of his character instead of wanting to come back and being booked as this legend and stuff. He's happy doing that, so that's good.
Well, he's still going to come back as a legend. He's HBK. It's just
I know, but he's got no problem making
come back as anything, and everyone will still cheer for him.
Yeah, but like he's got no problem making a fool of himself. Some legends and some of them don't. They still got in their mindset that I still want to be booked as I was before. I still want to be viewed as I'm a scary person. It was like, well, you're 60 years old.
Yeah. You know, I'm still the heel.
Yeah.
No.
If you were in the ring with Brock, sorry, Hulk, you want a match with Brock. We said back then when he was itching, he was asking for a match against anyone. Hulk, remember, you wanted one more match. I was like, you get in a match with Brock Lesnar, you won't live. And I know it's choreographed. You know, it's all, you know, wrestling's fake. Even though I'd love to see these people take a bump, but you know what I mean. It's predetermined. And you know, you're not technically really trying to slam your opponent into the mat and kill them. I'm pretty sure Hulk Hogan would be pretty badly injured after one match with Brock Lesnar. Do you think that Hulk Hogan could take one German suplex against the guy? No.
Especially considering it's like Brock doesn't do a German suplex, he does like a German throw.
Yeah, he just like flings them across the air.
It's like, you're going this way. Yes, you are.
So yeah, Hogan, yeah, I'm happy if he doesn't have a match in the rest of his life. I'd be happy with that, personally.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
So Saxton asks them how they all felt winning the Royal Rumble. Saxton here was kind of hamming it up a little bit. He's still got a little bit of tweaking he needs to do in his in the way that he conducts himself. I think he's all right.
He's doing good.
But
it's early days.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't say the words, "I'm marking out, bro," like Matt Striker, I'm sure Vince will give him a bit of time to do what he needs to do. So
fucking idiot.
Yeah. They all pick their winners for the show as well. HBK picks Bray Wyatt to win. He's not going to win. Hogan says that
it's going to be.
Oh, first before he says that Daniel Bryan's going to win. There's a chance. I still don't think he's going to win. So just before he says that though, is that HBK says he should get all SummerSlam 2005 on the Hulkster. That made me laugh. Yeah. If you don't know why that's funny, it was the match where Shawn Michaels famously, and I mean famously, oversold to the extreme. Max, number 11, oversold on Hulk Hogan. And he bounced around that ring like imagine Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler combined selling, and that's what Shawn Michaels was like that night. He was bounced. He made it look so unbelievable, and it was his way of getting back at Hulk for not working with him that well.
Yeah, it's all like, you're just going to like completely no-sell me. Well, I'm going to go on the exact opposite of the scale.
Well, I think the thing is that that they were planning on having a win each. You know, that Hogan was going to win that match and then Michaels would win another one. And then when the match rolled around, Hogan was like, I'm not losing a match to Shawn Michaels. Yeah. So Michaels was like, fair enough, I'm going to make it so if you do win a match against me, people are going to laugh at you for it. So he just oversold.
It's just going to look like a mockery.
Yeah, and he did. It's quite hilarious. However, Ric Flair picks Dean Ambrose, and I thought this was quite funny, considering Dean Ambrose can't win matches. He did this week, but he hasn't won a match before then for a fucking long time. So picking him to win the Royal Rumble, does it
count for anything? Yeah, it does. Oh, I can't win it.
Yeah, yes. I think it's funny that the only match he's lost against tons of people, just keeps losing matches after matches, and the match he won this week, he pinned the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
That's how you book your IC championships, huh? That's one thing I should have said back at the fan feedback, that whole thing that we're talking about titles and how they mean. If you got your champions constantly being beaten in non-title matches, then they're not champions. It doesn't matter.
No, that's it. How are you going to defend it? I don't know.
These guys are losers that just wear a belt. They just wear an accessory. It's shiny. It's stupid in my eyes. Yeah. You wouldn't see the IC champion back in the days where the belt was relevant, losing matches as often as the champions do now. So Ric Flair picks Dean Ambrose. Big Show comes out. He disses on all the legends. He says they're all jealous of the Big Show. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're jealous of his title-filled carear. They're jealous of him dressing up like a baby on that New Year's thing that they did. Yep. They're probably very jealous of appearing in Knucklehead.
They never starred in Knucklehead. Yeah, exactly.
They're very jealous of you, Big Show. Jesus Christ. The Academy Award nominations for Knucklehead. I can't remember any of them because they didn't exist. But sure, there must have been. It was Knucklehead. Of course it must have been. Jesus. Very jealous, of course. He calls the three legends washed-up has-beens. There is an argument that could be said that Big Show is in his washed-up has-been stage of his career. I think that's a little bit mean, but still.
Still true.
He says that here's the kicker. Here we go, Matt. Are you ready for this? He says no one can eliminate the Big Show from the Royal Rumble.
Yes, I know. It's like, I'm the favourite to win. No one can eliminate me. Actually, everyone's eliminated you. Every year, someone's eliminated you, Big Show.
He's been in countless Royal Rumbles, not hundreds, but he's had tons of opportunities to win a Royal Rumble. They book him each year. How are they going to get the Big Show out? He gets eliminated. Every single year.
I mean, hell, like I don't know how he can do that, considering like at WrestleMania, one man alone eliminated him.
Cesaro dumped him over. Look at Cesaro now, can barely win a match against the New Day. Jesus Christ.
That's just it. It's just sort of like, oh, no one could eliminate me. At WrestleMania, one man eliminated you. Not like, oh, they had to get 5 people to dump him over. Yeah. No, Cesaro was just like, done.
Yeah. It's just like this ridiculous notion that they try and sell him each year. How are they going to eliminate the Big Show? Big Show's my favourite to win the Rumble. Really? Really?
Why?
Okay. Guarantee you he's getting eliminated by Roman Reigns. That's how it's happening. So he probably can get eliminated solo by Roman Reigns. I don't know, maybe. But just
a big Superman punch over the rope.
This idea. It seems like the bigger person you are, the harder it is to win the Royal Rumble as well, which is quite funny. So Flair decides, well, if he's going to get up in my face, then I'm going to go woo and try and knock him out.
Chop Central,
but he gets knocked out. This brings out Roman Reigns. He didn't bring out his storybook, so I was quite happy with that.
In fact, he wasn't one to talk.
He took out the Big Show, and like I said, he didn't say anything. And I think in terms of his promos recently, that's actually quite good for him. You know, not saying anything. I think that's a plus, honestly. The stuff he's been saying recently on the mic has been, like I said, it's made me paranoid, thinking that someone's out to get this guy's career. It really does. I'm like, no one can write this and think this is good. Like, it's bad. It's just really bad. But saying nothing and looking like a badass, that's probably the direction that you should have him going in at the moment. But what was it he said on SmackDown? I caught it just before I came on. He said something stupid again on SmackDown. He said that Andre the Giant never called himself a giant. That was the thing that was stupid.
So, yeah, he did.
Yeah, his name was Andre the Giant. So, yeah.
Crazy man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Roman Reigns for you there. Renee Young is backstage with John Cena. It wasn't really much of a talk that these guys had between them. People know my thoughts on Renee Young, John Cena backstage segments. 85% of people voted yes. It was a stupid vote, if I'm honest.
Blah, blah, blah. Champ is here. This is the type of thing that makes champions. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to do it.
The vote is stupid. The majority of the votes that they do are stupid. You know, what was it we had one week? Street fight, no holds barred, no DQ.
Falls count anywhere.
Yeah, just ridiculous. But yeah, that's all the votes are stupid. They really are. Cena says, as you said, he wanted the match anyway, so the whole entire angle was redundant.
That's it.
Why do the vote? Why make it a vote? If Cena wants it,
by having this, I can prove that I am a fighting champion, and I shall be the champion once again.
Yeah,
the champ is here.
Yeah. Well, he says it. He doesn't say it as robotically as that, but yeah.
No, it's how his promos feel now. Yeah. It's just like, just grab another one off the assembly line.
Yeah.
Just churn them out.
We're going to find out John Cena's just a robot, and you put CDs in his back, and it plays the same thing.
That's it. He was built by WWE Creative or something.
Yeah.
That's why he can recover from injuries at such a rate.
Oh, I think we're on something
if he was human, this will be 6 months out, and he's back in 2.
Are we saying
how can he do it when he's nothing more than synthetic and metal?
So you're going to say categorically here on this show that you think John Cena is a robot?
John Cena's an android.
He's an android. I think we got the cover of this week's episode. John Cena is an android. One of these days he's going to have be in a hardcore match and accidentally his arm will come off and it'll just be wires and the big secret will be out.
That's it. They can't. That spot with Dean Ambrose and the TV, it exploded with electricity.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened with Cena because he'd have electrocuted himself.
Yeah.
Fried his circuit boards and just fallen down on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he would have switched it and he'd have gone on a rampage, either or.
Or maybe using, the Wi-Fi built into him, he could really make that TV work, even though JBL was stating,
That's it. It's a wireless TV.
It's a
wireless power.
It was a wireless table. Do we all remember that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God. So, yeah, John Cena is an android. You heard it here first. If it comes out that he's an android, damn, you got some detective powers there, man. Jesus Christ.
Bam!
Moving on, anyway, from that.
Dragging ourselves back to reality.
Yeah. Bad News Barrett against Dean Ambrose. We already talked a little bit about this match. This is, like I said, this match took part on the second half of the show. There was only one match in the first half of the show. Yep. So, as we said, it's a 3-hour show. For an hour and a half, there was one match. A little bit wrong with that, but
not too good.
So, if I were in the audience, this is the thing. If I was in the audience, would you feel a bit gypped and not seeing more than one match as the first half of the show?
Yeah, there was good content though.
We had the Raw reunion, I guess. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough.
I don't know. I would have been. I would have been a bit.
We didn't have the proper Raw reunion at that point, did we?
No, that was later on. But you had the Legends thing. I don't know. Maybe they said they packed the majority of the matches for the second half of the show anyway. So there we are. So good match for these two. Ambrose wins with the dirty deeds. And like I said, don't be confused. One win over the IC champion is nowadays does not fix all the losses that Ambrose has had before. He's a guy that loses matches. That's the kind of reputation he's got for himself now. When the chips are down, Dean Ambrose can't win. Look how well that did for Ryback. Yeah. Damn. You know? You know what I mean?
Don't know it. Cut out for a second there.
Oh, I said that Dean Ambrose is a loser, and look how well that came out for Ryback.
Yeah. It never ends well.
Yeah. I was wondering why you weren't talking to me, and I was like,
no, it's just like, oh, still got silent. Internet connection problem.
Shit. Are you wanting me to continue this alone?
Sodja, I'm running away with my Cena Android style.
Yeah, that's it. They took you. They're onto you, Matt. They're onto you. They're trying to shut you down over your Android talk. That's what they're trying to do. Oh well. So, we get a regular by-the-numbers video package they do for the Royal Rumble each year. We've seen that all the time.
Always good.
They've added in now the whole WWE Network thing. All these people will be watching on the network. It's kind of like tradition now. I think for like the last 5-6 years they've done this by-the-numbers stuff. It's just how they do it. I don't have an issue with it, but it's kind of like you expect it at this point, but still. New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Now, I know, Matt, you're a big fan of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
Yes.
I know you like saying New Day, but you're not a fan of them.
No.
You just like saying it, just to piss me off.
New Day!
I kind of walked into that. I'll give you that one. I set you up for it. So, the one thing I feel bad for the New Day is that they're doing their best to try and get the fans.
And really struggling.
Yeah. They're coming out. I loved.
It's like, they each had microphones and everything. It's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and suddenly the fans are still sitting on their hands, you know, just, it's the New Day. Pretty much, that's what they're doing. I wouldn't get up and dance with the New Day. We're going to a show in a couple of months. Do you think I'm going to get up out of my seat and dance with the New Day? Fuck no. Why would I want to?
No, exactly.
The New Day. I don't give a shit about them. So, commentary state here. Here's another killer line. That Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are one of the best tag teams in all of WWE. They've only been with each other for a couple of weeks, but apparently they are.
But they are one of the best. And like, what? Really?
Yeah, apparently they're so good. They're one of the best tag teams. They lost this match. Clean.
I don't know.
So, that's how good they are. They get beaten by the New Day.
Yep.
So that's Tyson Kidd Cesaro for you. People may put the argument of, well, at least they're doing something with them. I'd argue being put in a rivalry with the New Day isn't really doing much with them. I think this is a bigger insult to the New Day. They came back with all this vignettes. They had much bigger debut in terms of the amount of effort put in than Tyson and Cesaro had. And now they're rivaling with a makeshift tag team.
Yeah.
Doesn't bode well for either of these guys, if I'm honest.
No.
Especially the fact
not strong at all.
You've got Cesaro and Kidd wrestling a match, and who is their ally on the sidelines? Adam Rose.
Yeah.
The Black Plague.
It's just like, no.
In fact, I'll tell you what, Adam Rose, why don't you take our gimmick from us and make it a gimmick? Why don't you become the Black Plague of WWE? Run that as your new gimmick. Can't be worse than what you're doing now.
Yeah. Oh. I don't get it.
Oh well. So yeah, I know you like them guys, but the news is that I just don't see anything happening with these guys.
But like I said, I like them in their singles work.
Yeah.
Like, can we just like leave? Like, I hate to say it, just leave Tyson Kidd in NXT.
While you're there, take Cesaro.
Yeah,
He's not doing anything on the main roster. I'd love him to have more matches with Sami Zayn, personally.
Hell yeah.
Don't you think now is the time, considering Cesaro is making those of jobs, basically on the main roster? And in that time, he was making a bunch of jobs as he was doing it anyway, and Sami Zayn was on his rise. Why don't you make a match with him and Cesaro again, but this time Zayn gets the victory, because he never won against Cesaro.
No, he lost every time.
Would have been another bit to add on. This guy's really ready for his title match. Bit of a missed opportunity. They may have done it, I don't know, but if they didn't, it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
NWO reunion with Nash, Hall, and X-Pac. I'm a bit wondering why X-Pac was here. I get it. He was part of the group. I think he was like 6 or something like that. Because he was the 6th member of their group, and he had his name like SYXX to be cool. Back in those days.
Yeah.
The NWO I'd like to remember is Nash, Hall, and Hogan, not the watered down version that had half a bajillion members.
Yeah, it's sort of like the originals.
I'm sure that my grandma was probably a member of the NWO at some point. I don't know. It's quite likely, and she doesn't even like wrestling, but apparently she might have been a member. I'm sure that some of us in utero were members of the NWO. It seemed like half the world was at that point. It's like a Raw reunion with like all the former members of the NWO. It would probably take about 6 hours for all of them to get down to the ring. Not even all of them their own entrances, just single file trying to make it into the ring. Probably take about the entire show to get them all in there.
That's it.
So still.
God, left foot first. Let's go.
Yeah. Kevin Nash fluffs his plug for the network. I think was it the WFE network. He kind of fluffed the word.
There's one thing about Kevin Nash that really shocks me, though. It's like, I don't understand how he grows his beard. Because it's just a little bit on his top lip. It's never like the full amount of his top lip.
That's an odd thing to think of, isn't it?
It's just I look at it and it's like, why don't you have a full moustache? Like
you question his man
little,
credibility.
Like, half thing.
Half thing. Sounds so odd. It's a lie. It's a lie, Matt. That's what the beard is. Come on, he's big sexy Kevin Matt. That was for the 50th episode we did. Remember?
That is very
you
true.
love it. You love it. But he says, "Oh, you're welcome, Triple H, for the plug," even though he fluffed it up. He says that the NWO was responsible for everything awesome ever created. And I was like, damn you, NWO, for taking props for our success here on this podcast. They're taking props for our 200 subscribers, Matt. That's what they're doing.
Like, they ain't responsible for us.
Maybe next week we'll just have like the NWO tune and it'll just be the entire show in its format, but it'll be done with Nash and Hall. I imagine a lot of people would enjoy that, though.
Yeah.
But maybe I shouldn't give them ideas.
The worst part is, he was kind of true.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from. Yeah,
we created the Monday Night Wars. Well, you kind of did, actually.
Yeah, that was the hottest period in wrestling.
Yeah.
Outright. Just huge moment in wrestling. So, and them going to WCW is what turned the tide for WCW and made them number one. And then WWE had to come back. There's a lot of stuff there. There's one thing actually I want to say. The Monday Night Wars. I've been watching them on the network as well.
Oh, what, the series?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No.
They're missing out massive facts when it comes to that series.
Is it because it's probably going to be terribly biased?
It's like sort of like the whole thing of like winner's law, victor's law, which they have in actual wars. That whoever wins the war against a country, they're the one who picks what history remembers, essentially. So all the war crimes done by the opposing nation.
History's written by the winner.
Yeah. But in this thing, they were like, the WCW guys, they just couldn't get over. The fans just didn't take to them. They make absolutely no reference to the WCW show that Vince tried to do but failed. They made no reference to huge failures on WWE's part in terms of how they were integrating these guys into the WWE. There was big glaring omissions from it. I was a little bit shocked, actually, to be honest. I mean, it's still a good watch, but they're missing some pretty big stuff out of it, personally.
I can't say I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah. Or they declined to state that through all the amount of people that died throughout the Monday Night Wars, through
the amount of people who are now dead.
Yeah, because they were pushing themselves, the companies were pushing them. It's hard. We can't exactly point them out and say, "Oh, the companies are responsible for this." When you got the British Bulldog who was taking painkillers to get back into the ring because WCW were ferociously fighting WWE on every front, and Bulldog was afraid he would lose his job.
Yeah,
that led to his death. And he fell on a trapdoor made. I think it was for the Ultimate Warrior. It's like, come on, Jesus Christ, and he didn't die from that, but he got the injury. You know what I mean? It's just They leave out a lot of stuff that makes them look bad today.
That really sucks for us because we're just like, but we're British.
Yeah.
We're British. We want the British Bulldog.
Yeah. So this brings out what I like to call the Boar-scension. Oh, you don't like this, do you, Matt? You don't like that I'm doing that?
No, I don't like that you're actually referencing that this part actually existed.
Oh, here we go, guys. And they say all they see is three legends begging to be put out of their misery. And this is Victor talking. I thought Victor actually wasn't too bad.
I wish Connor would shut up.
Yeah, and then Connor decided to open up his trap.
Just leave Victor as the mouthpiece. They refer to Victor as the scalpel and Connor as the hammer. I'm fine with that being the case. just don't let him talk.
Put a muzzle on the guy, because when he opens his mouth, I laugh. And I shouldn't be laughing when the Ascension are in the ring, right? Let's just call them this week. Here we go, Matt. I'm going to unleash you in a minute, right? I'm going to unleash you in a minute.
But here we go. Do it.
Here is what I would describe them in this role at the moment. Now, it might not be this way going forward. They may be put on a better track, and I do believe they would be. But for this week, you could call them the tag team equivalent of Heath Slater.
Yeah.
They were there to make the legends look good.
Just like last reunion, they just needed someone to beat on.
Yeah. So let's talk about actually what happens, and I'll let you have your thoughts there, Matt. JBL gets involved. He buries the Ascension, says that I've had enough of you guys, and then out comes Ron Simmons, which at least gave me a smile.
No!
I've
just realised.
What?
We didn't have a dam.
We did have a dam on the show. Wow.
No dam. We had Ron Simmons. That's fine. I'm good with that. But we didn't have a dam.
Oh.
And he came out with an APA t-shirt, not one that says damn.
I know. Oh, well.
Oh.
Bit of a shame. I know it's done all the time, but it's just that dam has a special place in our heart, guys.
The fact that it makes you giggle like a girl.
It does make me giggle like a girl. I love it. I'd admit that. I'd admit that on the show.
I could walk into a room and do nothing, just look at you, and you'll probably start laughing, knowing to know what's coming.
Yeah, to be honest, I do. I love it. I really do. But then come out the New Age Outlaws. Road Dogg, I think, shows here that his mic skills just don't fade with time. He's just as good on the mic as he ever has been.
Can I still speak? Good.
Yeah. The Outlaws then lay out the Ascension. JBL then gets his clothesline from hell and he finishes off the segment. I would like to state that I love being proved right.
Well, he was just in for a little bit and now he's gone.
Yeah. And at the end of the show, I get proved right again. We have a segment on the show called We Were Wrong, We Were Down Wrong. We don't do it often because I don't like to say we're not wrong often, but we don't make that many glaring predictions or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But two of the things that we said were, we had a question last week, which we did answer, stating we don't believe JBL will be having any matches. He's not in a match. The New Age Outlaws are.
Yeah.
And I said categorically, and I downright promised, that Ryback, Eric Rowan, and Dolph Ziggler would have their jobs back in storyline by the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There we are. Just want to say that I said that.
And there we go.
Let me have this pride a little bit, because I don't take it that often, so still. So here's the thing, right? Let's talk about the Ascension now, because where are they going to go from here? There's two different tangents they could go on from here, and they're massive tangents, okay? And one of them could mean they could end up going somewhere. One of them means that they're not going anywhere at all. One of them is they stay the Heath Slater of the tag team division, and they basically just go against loads of legends, and they get made to look like fools on a weekly basis and not like dominating superstars.
Don't say that.
Or they're booked like the tag team equivalent of Randy Orton, the Legend Killers, where they go and kill legendary tag teams. I do think they will beat the Outlaws. I'd be very shocked if they didn't. Extremely shocked.
The one thing I'm hoping is they literally just destroy the Outlaws.
Yes, and make it uncomfortable. That's what we said all along. It has to be uncomfortable to the point that if they square up against another pair of legends, you'd have to be worried for their health. You know,
that's it. Or if just like square off to like any other team, like just even if like the Usos came out to like make a save or something, it's just like, you sure you really want to do that?
Yeah. We want to be able to believe that the Ascension are a dominant tag team.
Yeah.
The way they've been going about it hasn't really booked that over, but hopefully it's a start where they decide, okay, maybe we're just going to keep digging on these tag teams and these legendary tag teams, and we're going to beat them, and we're going to make it very uncomfortable.
That's it.
If they go around that route, then maybe there's something you can do with these guys. If they lose to the Outlaws and made to look like the tag team like equivalent of Heath Slater losing against a bunch of legends each week, then they will become laughing stocks very quickly. Yeah. Talking about Heath Slater, by the way, another thing we got proved, but we were proved right on. All of his charges, by the way, about him apparently.
Oh, they got dropped. Yeah,
they got dropped. Yeah. Come on, we knew it was bogus. The minute I read it, it was bogus. Of course it was. Triple H and Stephanie backstage. They announce, apparently with a drum roll, I don't know why they thought that was needed, that Rollins...
Just for a little bit of comedic. It's like, why did you stop?
They announced that Rollins, Big Show and Kane will face John Cena. And then a guy with a trumpet comes in.
For no reason.
Would you like to try and explain this?
I can sort of understand the drum roll. I don't know why they had to get a proper guy in to drum roll it.
Okay, yeah. Like a professional to come in and do it.
Yeah. But I guess it adds to that whole, oh no, but we're not done. Carry on drumming. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then it goes that was painful.
And then it went to weird.
Yeah, especially considering it's like, and Kane! And the guy carries still drumming. It's like, you can stop. You can stop. It's like, oh, I'm going to make sure you don't work in this town again. It's like, this is awkward.
Yeah. It's I know they've got a flair for the dramatic, Trips and Steph, but the dramatic I would state would be more like the WrestleMania 30 entrance that Triple H had, not this.
That's what we want. Yeah. And then just some guy with a trumpet who isn't actually changing the tone of the trumpet at all.
Yeah.
I was like, how is he playing that? Well, he's just breathing through it, but he's not getting any tones because he's just the three like plunges are just like the same. I don't play trumpet. Like, maybe you can do it like that, but I'd imagine that surely for a change of pitch, you need to do the thingies.
Matt 2015, to change the pitch, you need to do the thingies.
I don't play trumpet.
Yeah,
okay?
at least you admitted that. I think everyone knows that. Oh, dear. But yeah, no, I get you. This was a bit weird. I have no idea why they went with this, personally. But hey, we've seen worse stuff on this show. I would point to a lot of bad segments, and this certainly, it was weird. I wouldn't call it bad, it was just weird. Paige and Natalya against Summer Rae and Alicia Fox. The Bellas are at ringside. This is more Total Divas stuff.
Yay.
Pretty much all I can say about it. Paige wins with the Scorpion crosslock. While the Bellas have been saying, well, these girls can't beat us. We've been in a tag team for our whole lives. And I would state, well, maybe except for the whole business about apparently wishing that your sister died in the womb. Maybe you weren't a tag team then. But still. Oh yeah, and then the Bellas have the audacity, while Paige wins with the Scorpion crosslock, to say they wouldn't tap out to it.
I'm pretty sure they would. I'm pretty sure they have.
They have tapped. I don't know if they tapped out to that move, but it's like someone saying I wouldn't tap out to like a proper MMA Kimura lock. Like that move, the Scorpion crosslock looks like one of the most painful submissions on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just funny. I don't know why I should care about Paige and Natalya against the Bellas, so I tell you what, I'm just not going to.
No.
Saves all of our time. Apparently they're going to have a match. I don't know why. There you go.
It's tough.
Apparently, the big story going on is apparently Paige and Rosa had a kiss. And so Rosa wasn't happy the fact that Paige didn't reciprocate her feelings. Does that mean they're going to have Rosa Mendes costume the match, maybe? Scandalous.
No, just shut up.
Why is this stuff getting on our weekly wrestling show? I don't give a shit what happens on Total Divas. I would argue that anyone the main people that watch Total Divas, like I said, we will do that extra episode down the line. But anyone that watches Total Divas, they don't really care what happens on Raw each week. That's fine. Make them two different things. Easy.
Yeah.
They don't have to reference it.
It's like, this thing that was blatantly filmed 6 months ago. How does it matter to now?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is. Either these girls can really hold a grudge.
Natalya and Tyson Kidd are having terrible marital troubles.
Oh, all the time they have marital troubles. All the times. So
it's invading NXT as well.
Yeah, it is. So this moves on. I just don't want to talk about the Divas, unfortunately. They just absolutely...
I think we spent more time talking about the Divas than we did the Ascension.
Which... I don't know. I just don't know what
Fix the Ascension, damn it!
Yeah. I mean, the fact is, guys, that Total Divas has so much control over the Divas on wrestling each week. It is actually a little bit pathetic at this point. It's the fact that if E decide they want to have someone as the Divas champion, WWE will probably bark and say yes.
Yeah.
I don't like how much influence they have on that division. I don't think they should have any, personally. Exactly. But there we are. Rusev against R-Truth. Here we go, Matt. Truth asks us what time it is. What time it is when he comes out. I know what time it is. It's jobbing time.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I don't know. It's just like, oh my god, he beat Bo Dallas on his 14-win string. Could he beat Rusev?
You're doing the man-dark laugh, aren't you? Yeah. He says that every American in the Royal Rumble will go straight for Rusev, and that's the truth. I'll tell you the truth right here. R-Truth got beaten a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's what's up! Yeah?
I'm just thinking this is like The Longest Yard. That's the truth with cheese on it.
Yeah, Rusev essentially ate this guy, and that's it. R-Truth was beaten in a couple of seconds.
Didn't even have to wait for the Lana crush.
Yeah.
Not Lana, well, Lana going Rusev crush. It was just like, nope.
No, bang, done. That's it.
Give me my belt, give me my necklace, let's go.
So when he asks us what time it is when he comes out, remember, it might just be jobbing time. He may be
like terrible in like the Power Rangers or something.
It's jobbing time, yeah. Oh dear. But anyway, backstage, Brock Lesnar, he confronts Seth Rollins. Lesnar says that he hopes that Rollins wins tonight so he can get paid to take him out. I love the reference, the interaction between Lesnar and Rollins. It elevates Rollins. I don't think people understand that really fully at this point, that it does elevate Rollins up to Lesnar's level, because people seem to think, and they, we love Seth Rollins here on this show, don't we? We gave him Superstar of the Year for a reason, right? But he's not anywhere close to Lesnar's level at the moment.
Oh, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing is, like, did you see Heel Book posted a trailer for the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
And it's like Superstar of the Year, actual Superstar of the Year.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Rhodes and Rollins.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true.
It's so true. The thing is, the only thing I didn't like here is that Rollins, was staring him in the face, looking as if he was ready for the fight, and as soon as Lesnar walks away, then he starts
breathing heavily, like, like.
I was expecting him to say, "Oh, I just shit myself." Oh, it was Lesnar, but
just like you spent that moment, the moment like Lesnar's back turned, he's like walking away, just like fucking dick. I would have had him. If it came to blows, he don't want to mess with me.
You're making it sound like an English football hooligan.
Well, why not?
Why not? Maybe Lesnar doesn't.
Most of them have a blonde highlight, so yeah.
So yeah, I love the fact that you got, with Rollins interacting with big name stars like Brock Lesnar, that elevates his name. And a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to take the fall. I do think he will take the fall. I just think that this is a match that's perfect for him at the moment.
But it's booked so well, because people are just thinking, it's like, he genuinely does have two different ways to win this match.
Yeah. Some people may be thinking that Rollins has a chance of winning. I think he has a very small chance of winning. I do.
Yeah, there's a chance.
I don't think he'll win the match. I think he might cash in afterwards. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, there is a chance that he might walk out of the Royal Rumble as the world champion. That's interesting.
I don't think he'll win the match, because there's no point. It's like, I have the belt, but I also have the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah.
I don't get this.
Yeah. There could be a thing that maybe Cena wins through pinning, Maybe he does pin Lesnar or something like that. And then Lesnar then just goes ape shit, kicks 7 barrels of shit out of him, leaves him in the middle of the ring, and then Rollins is like, I see something going on here, and then pins him. That could happen, you know.
It depends on the storyline arc that you're going to go by.
Yeah, that's not the storyline arc I'm going by. I don't think that'll happen, but there is a chance.
Oh, yeah.
There is a chance that could happen.
This is the one thing that I'm saying, is like, I'm actually really looking forward to this main event, because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's quite hard to call.
Like, I'm going to make a prediction, but I'm not 100% like, this is how I see it going, because I'm just like, I don't know.
I've made a pick, but I don't. Like, there is a lot of tangibles to it. So I think the fact that you have... I tell you what, if it had been Brock versus Cena, a lot of people wouldn't be caring about this. The fact that added Rollins into it makes it far more of a must-see match.
He's the wild card that's been thrown into it, yeah.
He's the catalyst that makes this a main event, really.
Yeah, otherwise it's just like... Christ, Lesnar, Cena...
4.
4?
Yeah. They've had
Extreme
2 matches
Rules
before
2012.
this. Yeah, then SummerSlam, then Night of Champions.
SummerSlam, and then, yeah.
So 4. Yeah.
5?
Is it 5?
5.
No,
I'm pretty sure it's Brock Lesnar, Cena 5.
No, it's not 5. Is it?
It's been twice for the title.
Yeah.
Then we had that match at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's had one between then.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's 4. But it was
Either way,
it's been a lot of matches, regardless. Even if it is 4, at the very least. So having Rollins involved in there makes this far more interesting. So, Jey Uso against The Miz. This is forgettable. Uso just gets the victory here. There's nothing really else to say. They're wasting time until these guys wrestle each other for the belt at Royal Rumble. It was just a singles match here and there.
Mizdow.
Yeah, that's it.
Boo. Yay!
The one thing about Mizdow, though, I'm wondering, and I'm thinking that without a more creative way of doing his gimmick, there isn't that much more time left in him, I don't think. I know he got a big response during the live crowds, but you can slowly see that because they're maybe not being featured as much, that the laughs of what he's doing is starting to dwindle just ever so slightly, so they may need to keep their finger on the pulse for that. Because you could wait too long.
Like, the thing is, I've seen a backstage promo between Sandow and the Usos from SmackDown.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if Miz gets eliminated, are you going to throw yourself out too?
You probably will, actually.
But it's just like, this is your opportunity to be your own star.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
We can see like a caveman who can't even understand. Oh, yeah, sort of thing. I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm sure there will be a moment like that in the Rumble, and it'll be quite entertaining. I'm worried about Sandow because, as much as I like what he's doing now, there's nothing long term that comes out of what he's doing. He could do this. They'll have to eventually pull the trigger, and then what does he do afterwards? He just goes back to being nothing that he was.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, I really want him to go into singles, but what's he going to do as singles when currently he's a stunt double?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he can take the gimmick with him.
Yeah. So
would he go back to being the intellectual savior?
He'll be Clefairy from Pokemon and just do everyone else's moves against them.
Yeah,
but Eugene did that, and let's not go there.
Hey, bad words said against Eugene.
I will have plenty of bad words to say against him.
To be fair, so do I.
Yeah.
He was still funny, damn it. That's all Eugene was. He was the Santino Marella of that time.
God. Let's not open that can of worms. I don't think we have enough time on the show for that.
What, to discuss Eugene?
Yeah,
okay.
There's a whole can of worms. That leads to the main event. Rollins, Kane, Big Show against John Cena. I would state that the reason John Cena lost last week is because it was a lumberjack match. Really, his strength, as we know, are handicap matches. The man knows how to win a handicap match. This is a decent enough match. I mean, the majority of it is basically Cena getting a pasting, but I thought that there was some cool near falls here.
There's some good near falls. I think Rollins did really good as like simply sort of like, he always seems to find himself in, oh, you're in a handicap match with Seth Rollins, but with Big Show and Kane, two guys who are way more experienced than you are.
Yeah,
Rollins is like, he leads them so well.
Yeah, he's the one that's the leader of the authority, and he always seems like he's the puppet master out there. With two guys that really,
like, the authority are in power, but it's pretty much just like, but like, they're the generals, like Steph and Triple H. They're like the generals who sit all the way back in the office, but like Rollins is the captain in the field sort of thing.
Yeah. I do like that. And like the way he garnered his team at Survivor Series, like he's carried that through. He I would state that he no longer looks main event Rollins. He is main event. That's the transition that he's done. And he looks every part of it. More so than Reigns and Ambrose, by far. But still. So, what happens here is that it looks like Cena is about to, lose the match. Until Sting makes his Raw debut. This is the big moment here. Sting.
Do you know one thing to put a downer on this?
Go on.
Like JBL. It's just a picture of him. It's just a picture of Sting. That's clearly live video. It's just a picture of him.
So, Sting is there. He's kind of like he's looking up at a distance, not even looking at what's going on in the ring, and then eventually makes his way out to the ring. And his distraction gives Cena the opportunity, and there's only one thing, one move that can win him this match. The ultimate wrestling move. His one chance. Did he choose the AA? No. Did he choose the STFU? Fuck no. Did he choose that? He picked the most devastating move in wrestling history. The schoolboy roll-up pin. And it won him the match. So there you are. To top things off, Lesnar then at the end after Sting's gone and the Authority are like, what the hell just happened with all the three men reinstated. Lesnar comes down and reminds us what he said at the beginning of the show: if you don't fix this issue, I will fix it for you, and proceeds to batter Seth Rollins into the mat. And he F5s Big Show as well and Kane. And basically lays him out.
Big Show took that F5 really well.
Yeah. And then Rollins literally...
I guess, I hate to go because he's a fatty, but it's like he rolled off the shoulder really well and ended up going flush on his back sort of thing.
Yeah, because it was more of a...
Taker took some dirty F5s. It was like all in on his shoulder sort of thing. But Big Show's like, soft landing. soft proper back bump, which is done.
Yeah. It was more of like an AA, sorry, than an F5, but he still pulled it off. So Rollins here is hilarious as he's literally legging itself straight up, faster than probably his body can allow him, and he's like kind of falling over on himself. And that's how the show ends with Lesnar like, I'm going to basically destroy you. And it made him look like this is the most face Lesnar's ever been. I don't care, the whole face heel stuff. It doesn't matter in this situation. But it made him look like an unstoppable monster, the likes of Big Show and Kane. Just worse flies swatting him.
I had a problem with it just made last week, Rollins looking strong, proper staring him down, during that the future doesn't start till I say it starts segment. And it's just like, go on, Rollins. You stand there, you hold your ground, you could do this. And now this week it's like, Lesnar's after me. Shit.
I think, though, because of the fact they haven't booked Lesnar well the last couple of weeks, they just made him stand there and look bored all this time. I think it was fair enough having Lesnar have this moment.
I'm pissed.
Yeah. I thought it was brilliant. I thought that would have sold some tickets, some buys for that show. So I think they achieved exactly what they did. I mean, overall, like I said, the show wasn't a humdinger. There was a lot of things wrong with it here. The Ascension, you got a few other moments.
There's something wrong. If you're a fan of the Ascension and you're just in it for the Raw reunion, like all the old school parts, then you'll love it. But we like the Ascension, so we hate it.
Well, I like to look at it from a point of view as I might have enjoyed it now, but how much damage does this do in the future and stuff like that? But still, I think it's a Raw worth watching, guys. It really is. The lack of in-ring action may put a lot of people off if you're going to watch this week for wrestling. I'm sorry, not really much there. But in terms of outside
of, you're looking for the entertainment.
Then there was some to be seen there. There were a lot of parts here that would give you at very least a smile. And like I said, it's Sting's debut on Raw. I know it wasn't as instrumental. I mean, he was involved in quite an instrumental storyline at very least. But you can imagine he's going to have a bunch of these. Yeah, he's going to have... are you disappointed?
No, I'm not disappointed. I'm just saying how we just pointed.
Yeah.
No, I'm not disappointed because it's starting that setup for the fact that we're going to have Triple H and Sting.
Yeah.
And I want Triple H and Sting.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? I think it works at the moment. It's fine. And there's no reason for them to have long talks about each other. You just do Sting the way you're going now. It doesn't have to appear on every Raw until maybe start getting close to WrestleMania, and then you really build up this match and make it mean something for there on out. It already means something because it is a match. Sting will have his first match on WWE at WrestleMania. It's going to be a big deal, no matter what. So I would state you guys definitely do want to watch this show. It will definitely build you up for that main event at very least. And, you know, you don't have any fairy tales. If you come watching this for Roman Reigns fairy tales, sorry, none of that this week. But SmackDown had some remarkable nonsense from him, so maybe you can find it there, you know.
Okay.
Let's give our predictions for the Royal Rumble. We'll give our thoughts about who will win what match. I've got the list of matches here. We'd like to hear what your predictions are as well, because like I said, you leave them in the comments, and that way you can guarantee to everyone that you made these predictions before the show, and all that lot. So, here the outline of these matches, and like I said, these predictions are interesting because they're essentially where we think WWE will be heading in the next couple of months leading up to WrestleMania. A lot of stuff after Royal Rumble will be set in stone, pretty much. I mean, some stuff already is. Like you said, Triple H and Sting, that is pretty much set in stone. So let's go through the matches. Let's go through some of the ones that don't mean anything before we get to the ones that do mean anything, i.e. the last two matches. So you've got the pre-show, New Day against Cesaro, Kid, and Adam Rose. I'll probably give this to Cesaro, Kid, and Adam Rose, but I don't really care.
Nope.
Who are you gonna give it to?
I don't understand how it's going to be with the New Day though, considering like we've had like during their entrance, like we had
Xavier Woods with
Xavier Woods. Them, I couldn't think of his word. I was like Xan
X5.
Xavier Xander. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like, as you can see, my ankle's out of service. It's like, great, that's uplifting. You're a way to suppress the rage there. I'm here to go, but you're not because you're crippled. Because sorry, you're currently handicapped. So I don't know.
That's pretty funny.
He's got a week, and I don't think his ankle's going to fix in a week.
You probably won't have that much in ring. You probably just sit on the sideline for the majority. Maybe take one bump. Probably, I don't know.
That's it.
But yeah, I do think Cesaro, Kid, and Rose will win. Are you on the same delusion, or do you think New Day will get the victory again?
I reckon Cesaro and Kid will get this one.
Yeah. I think the fact that New Day won at Raw is a pretty good indication that they won't win at the Raw Rumble.
Yeah.
Natalia.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. Natalia and Paige versus the Bella Twins.
Natalia and Paige to win.
I'm going the same. I think they'll let the faces win, and then that'll probably lead to one of them maybe having a title match going forward.
Exactly that.
That's exactly where I came up with that thought anyway.
Yeah.
Outlaws, New Age Outlaws versus the Ascension.
Hopefully the Ascension.
This has to be the Ascension who wins this.
Yeah.
I don't know what plan they have for them if they lose this match. Imagine the worst case scenario, and I very much doubt it will happen, that the Ascension are beaten clean by the Outlaws and in a dominant fashion. I don't think that'll happen, but imagine if that was the case. Then they're dead in the water.
The problem is, I'm fearing that this is kind of like, because there's been reports of, there's been rumours and things that have been feeding out from backstages saying how, like, Vince and Dunn aren't happy with the Ascension. And it's just like, because you fucking booked them like idiots. They can't work. Yeah, they can fucking work. I'm sorry, Vince, do you not watch part of your product? NXT comes under your banner. Do you not watch it?
I know, it's ridiculous. And it's funny is that all the changes that probably they made to try and get them over harmed them.
Yeah, it has crippled them.
I would argue that their face paint, I don't think it works. Their shoulder armor and stuff, I don't think that was needed.
I kind of like the pads.
Yeah, I know.
They did have something quite similar in the earlier days. Like, actually before Victor.
Yeah. And whatever the way that they're making their promos, by the way, is just absolutely just horseshit. That's the biggest thing that's wrong with them. Whenever Connor opens his mouth, and Connor's not that bad. I've seen him do stuff on NXT that's okay. But with the format they've got him speaking at the moment, it is shit. It really is.
I'd rather they just leave Victor to be the voice of the team.
Yes. Yeah, just leave it like that. Or even if you do want Connor to speak, just change the way that this guy wants to hit, apparently, two-liners every single time he speaks. He's not an 80s action movie star. He doesn't have to do that. In fact, he's heel. He shouldn't be doing that. So, let's ride the lightning, Matt. Oh, God. Usos versus The Miz and Mizdow. I see Miz and Mizdow bringing back the belts.
Yeah.
I think this maybe has something to do either with Naomi or the Authority getting involved.
I see retention.
From the Usos?
The Usos retain, and we start seeing the split of Sandow Miz.
Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. I think Miz and Mizdow get the belts back, but that's just what I'll say. This leads us to the final two matches. Cena versus Brock versus Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, these are the two matches that our predictions mean essentially what we think WWE are going to go with.
Brock retains.
You're going for...
I'll go Brock will retain within the match.
But you think that Seth's walking out with a belt? Is that what you're getting at? So you think Seth will walk out champion after cashing in? Interesting.
Yeah, I'll sod it. I'll go with it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm thinking it would probably actually be best to have someone actually take the belt at Mania, because then it's that big win.
Yeah.
And I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah. No,
Brock leaves with the belt.
Yeah. So you're saying he's going to leave with the belt?
He'll leave Royal Rumble with the belt.
I think Cena beats the record and he becomes like the 18-time world champion and he wins. I think the way that I think they want it is that they're going to go with the storyline that if you want to be the future, you have to go through me. And I think their future is, regardless of how he's been booked recently, is Roman Reigns. And I think Roman Reigns will win the Royal Rumble and face Cena at WrestleMania. Okay.
So kind of like how Triple H was back in the day.
Sort of, yeah. But I think that I just
don't think Cena needs to hold the belt again.
I don't, but this is whether I think WWE thinks that he needs to hold the belt.
Of course WWE thinks he needs to hold the belt. Vince literally paints him gold and puts fucking sequins all over his face. Just like, you are our permanent walking title.
Permanent walking belt, yeah.
He's an android, so they could be, as long as they're not magnetic.
Here's my thoughts. I don't think they'll do the cash-in angle. That's just me, right? It is possible, but I don't think they'll do it. I don't think that they want Brock walking around with the belt, not at home, because he's not going to do any press and stuff for WrestleMania. I think they want Cena to come with the belt. They want to do the big passing the torch angle where Reigns becomes like a top guy star, and then I think Cena will lose at WrestleMania to Reigns. And I think they think with Brock they could easily have him against a match, maybe a Bryan. There still is the thing that I said last year that I still thought. There's a small inkling that could happen, and this will make people very interested, because if The Undertaker is on the show, why isn't he wrestling Sting? I think it'll probably because he wants his win back, and then he retires. And then he'll face Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar will go off and do whatever he wants to do, most likely with UFC. And Taker will get his win, he'll finish with a victory, and mark the only black stain on his WrestleMania career card. And then he can ride off into the sunset. I still think that's a possibility. But,
No.
That's all down to it. But who do you think then? So you think that Brock will win that? Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? That's the big question. I think it's between 4 guys that could win it.
I hear 4 guys, but I think only 2 actually make sense.
Okay.
Because I hear talks of Ambrose, Orton, Reigns, and Bryan. 4 of them make sense.
Yeah.
Ambrose? No.
No, I don't think Ambrose is getting it.
I don't see why. Because it's just like, oh great, you've been having all these rivalries that you can't win.
Yeah. There's no point putting him in. 2
straight rivalries that he's lost, and hasn't really... People still cheer him, but he hasn't come out strong as a result.
He's not gone anywhere. He's gone backwards since that Rollins thing. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Ambrose got any chance.
Plus the fact that he's selling this whole busted knee thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Orton, I don't think so.
No, I don't think...
I reckon we'll see him at Mania.
I don't think he'll win the Rumble.
I think we'll see him against Rollins.
I think he'll cost one of their guys, one of the authority guys.
I reckon he'll cost Rollins. I reckon Rollins will go for the cash-in, and Orton stops him.
Orton will stop him, yeah. Yeah, but that's a possibility, yeah. So you think then it's between Bryan and Reigns. So who do you think's getting it?
I'm going to go with Reigns.
So you're going the same as me, Reigns.
I'm going the same as you, yeah.
So you think it's going to be Reigns and Brock?
I don't think, hey, Daniel Bryan's just got back from this crippling neck injury. Let's stick him in with Brock Lesnar. Let's stick him in with someone who is kind of safe. Yeah. Kinda.
I think, like, what we said earlier on is that I always thought that it would be Brock Reigns at WrestleMania. I'm starting to back out on that now a little bit, because for some reason I get the feeling that they don't want Brock being champion walking into that show. I think that they've had it where they want it, and they want him to drop the belt now. That's just my opinion. But it still could be Brock Reigns. But I think it'll be...
It's the Royal Rumble. Anything can happen.
Except for 26 people have no chance of winning.
Well, yeah.
That's just the way it is.
29 people aren't going to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our thoughts on it there. I'd love to hear what you guys think in terms of predictions. Who do you think will win both those last two matches? Because they're the main ones. I mean, really, whoever wins between Natalya and Paige and the Bellas really doesn't really impact into any WrestleMania plans.
Oh, I changed my mind for WrestleMania prediction. Fandango.
Oh, you think Fandango's going to go against Lesnar? And he'll beat Lesnar with all of his moves.
The leg drop.
Leg.
Just look at Rosa.
Oh, God. No, Fandango could dance himself over the top rope. That's what you can do. Yeah. I think, that's the way I think it's going to go. But it'll be interesting to see what other people think in terms of where they think the main event will go and other matches. Some of the matches, as I said, pretty much set. Like the Triple H.
We're very level on this one, aren't we? We've only got one match that we differ on.
Yeah,
two. The main event, and
yeah. So. But like I said, a lot of them don't even matter anyway. So it'll be an interesting show. I do think Royal Rumble will be a good show. I think the Rumble will be good. There's some slots in. There will be some surprises. I think RVD probably will show up. Even though
it's in Philadelphia, so I'd be really foolish not to.
Yeah. So I think that they'll maybe have a few other surprises in there.
It's not like they're going to be able to get Dreamer.
No. Considering he's been so...
Sandman!
I don't think they'll do any ECW guys. I think they'll just do some classics and maybe. So I think
if we get an
there's
ECW
a good chance.
If we get an ECW guy, it's going to be RVD.
Yeah.
And we'll have Heyman there as well. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of another thing that kind of makes me think that Lesnar's going to retain because, like, Heyman's like the Paul Heyman guy. Losing in Philadelphia.
Nah, it's happened before.
I know it's happened before, but it's just like Paul Heyman's going to walk in there and be treated like a god.
Oh, two guys that I think will be in the Royal Rumble will be Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. I think those will be.
Oh yeah.
That would be really cool. Hell, wouldn't it be cool considering all the stuff that's going on with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens that you could have Kevin Owens dump him out of the Rumble because he's not part of it.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be good.
Good advertisement for NXT and the match they will be having.
Oh, do you know the one thing I'm so excited about? I tweeted about this as well.
Go on.
It's like WWE have almost given me a birthday present.
Oh, yeah, the thing's on your birthday, isn't it? Yeah.
The next takeover event's on my birthday. Yeah.
The women's match looks amazing. You got Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch 4-way women's title match.
Yeah.
Damn.
I believe we're going to end up with Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens.
Well, that's already been announced. It's a non-title match, but that's going to be a humdinger of a match.
Yeah. We get another Baylor match. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully. And he looks like money. He looks money. In fact, next week, what we might do is I might
get more paint.
Yeah. You might do different paint. Might do different paint. You never know.
Yeah.
What we do next week, we're going to do, because I've been watching lots of NXT, I'm actually watching on a weekly basis now, is that we're going to have a look at NXT.
It might actually be a week ahead of me.
Yeah. I'm going to do a report card. We actually had a question on it ages ago, but we're going to be doing this as a regular thing every now and then. And I'm going to tell you who I think is money on that show and who I think isn't. You'll be surprised. There's one guy on that show I think isn't money at the moment, and I'll probably get slated for saying it. I'm not going to say anything now. That's a hook. That's how you do a hook, Vince McMahon.
You're telling me after this recording.
Yeah, I'll tell you, but I won't tell our fans.
Good.
You know, that's how you do a hook, Vince. I tell you guys want to know who I think isn't money on NXT. Oh. Anyway, thank you guys.
You booked strong in NXT.
I'm not going to say a thing. Not going to say a thing. So thank you guys for joining the show. Like I said, this is the episode that we did break 200 subscribers. We are very appreciative for all your guys' support and all your questions and sharing the show and, showing your friends. We love it. Thank you very much. And we've got to this point a lot quicker than we thought we would. And me and Matt have said, what did we say? By episode 100, didn't we say we wanted 400 subscribers by that point?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what we said. I think we'll hit that.
Oh, no. I think that was... because we're, what, now, 59?
59 is this episode.
59 and we're at 200. And I think already we were like...
We got to 100 to 200.
Exceeding ambition.
Yeah, we got to 1 to 200 very much quicker than we did from 0 to 100. So, who knows. But we're really excited for the future of the show. And we hope you guys did enjoy this episode. And if you did... then why not subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then you can show it to all your friends. You can leave a comment. As of now, we are still answering all fan questions into the show for the foreseeable future. So if you do want to be featured on the show, and also if you do want to send in an audio question, then I might put a link into our email that we have up. I know you've got an email for the Twitter account, haven't you?
There is, yeah.
So we can set something up like that, and you can send in like MP3s to us, and you might be able to get your voice heard on the show. That would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be pretty fun. But apart from that, guys, we are done for this week. We hope you guys have a great week. We hope you do enjoy the Royal Rumble, and hopefully we get proved right again, because we've been having a good month of being proved right on things, haven't we, really? Got
a good trend going on.
Good trend going on. Let's keep it going on. But apart from that, guys, we hope you have a great week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll catch you again next time for the review of the pay-per-view, no less.
That's the next step.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you guys next week.
We'll see you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye.